Hi there, welcome to Dave in the Shed. I'm Dave and this is my little corner of the world, also known as the Shed Mahal. Now if you're into DIY, 3D printing and model trains, you've come to the right place. Now fair warning, I do things a little bit differently. I have cerebral palsy, which means sometimes things get a little bit creative around here, but hey, it just makes it more fun. So if you like making, fixing, and maybe even breaking things along the way, stick around. Hit that subscribe button and let's build something awesome together.
Down in the shed where the magic begins, Dave's got his tools, let the fun commence. 3D printing dreams, watch him come alive. With every little gadget, man, he starts to thrive. Blueprints in hand, technology so keen, building up the future like a crafty machine. Model trains rolling on a whimsical track. In this shed of wonder, there's no time to slack. Oh, Dave in the shed where the vibes stay high. Creating with passion, he's reaching for the sky. DIY master in a vibrant samba flow. Hope you enjoyed the video, let's get ready to go. Let's get ready to go.
Well, good day and welcome to a video from Dave in the Shed. It's actually Tuesday morning I'm filming this part. I don't know if I told you in the last video or not, or probably did, probably didn't, that the mighty diesel heater had a bit of a failure problem. I went to fire it up one morning and it sounded as if the diesel was running into the chamber and it wasn't igniting. I know that sounds a bit bizarre, but anyway, I've got the whole system stripped down. I have ordered a whole new combustion chamber online. These parts are pretty easy to get online. Instead of stuffing around, I've ordered one that should be here Friday, but I thought I have nothing to lose. I'm not going to strip this down too much. What I might just do is change the glow plug. I've got a spare glow plug. In fact, we ordered a, because I was going to do a rebuild, I ordered the full gasket kit on this. But I went online and priced a new combustion chamber, and it's just easy to buy the whole unit. Like a lot of stuff, it's like... Yeah, anyway, so I thought I'd give you a sticky beak at what these units are, stripped down. Outside it's covering. Now, very similar to a jet engine. That is, oh, here comes trouble. Big trouble. He's going to want to be part of the video. So this is like a case and a shield. This is the plastic nacelle, as some people call it, or covering the engine. So you've got to think that this engine, it sits in this, and I might show you for the demo purposes. But anyway, so this is the jet engine, or diesel engine, or anyway. We have at this end a combustion chamber. We have at this end a big fan. Now, if you look carefully at this fan, it doesn't actually blow air into the combustion chamber. This is where it differs a little bit from a normal jet engine. So, down here, we have our fuel intake here. This is air, goes in here. Now, this is a bit of an issue. That is a bit oily. See how that's a little bit oily? So, that's actually that's probably the exhaust, that one. Anyway, we've got evidence of fuel here. Something's gone wrong. Should not be fuel at this port. Well, this one's clearly the exhaust port, because it's back down here. We should not see fuel residue in that air intake port. Okay, we shouldn't be. So something's gone wrong somewhere, but there is oily, greasy residue on that. That black sooty, that's definitely the exhaust port. This is our fuel line. Goes up into here. Why they run it like that, I have no idea. But anyway, this here is the combustion chamber. This here spins, big electric motor spins that fan. On the top of it, we have a temperature sensor here. Quite simple, temperature sensor. So this is your glow plug, your electronic control board. So combustion chamber, temperature sensor for the chamber. Allows the computer to control what's going on. Glow plug, control board and fan. So how this works is we have our fire in there, our diesel burning in there. This fan is blowing air over this unit. Hang on, I should put it back in its cover. Just hold on. So this bit will make sense by putting the combustion chamber back in its plastic cover, and it's enclosed like that inside there. So what is happening is that fan is sucking cold air through here. The cold air comes through here. It blows it over that combustion chamber, which is hot, and it exhausts that air out there. So that fan is just sucking cold air over that chamber out here. So this big fan here, reverse of an aeroplane. So instead of the thrust being used to the jet engine being used to control the impeller, the spin your blades, going opposite. So we're getting air sucked in through here by this big fan. That's a big electric motor there. Now the computer, the brain here, controls the speed of that. Sucks the air across this. So it's sucking through this chamber, coming out through, heating that air up, exhausting it there. Simple as that. And then out the bottom, of course, we've got that air intake and air and exhaust output for the combustion chamber. So in theory, if you've got this ported properly, the gases from that explosion should not be coming out there. So you should not be pumping exhaust gases into your room through that way. It should be running. Does that make sense? If you've got any questions, I've got a diagram somewhere. We worked out a diagram of what works. So this is a combustion chamber, and it runs at about 200, 270, 300 degrees. And the air running over that blows through, gets heated because that jet engine or that fan enclosed in that container. So I've ordered the whole new combustion chamber, which is the shroud, the lot, the thing. Ordered the whole new one. So yeah. I also want to where it used to live, I've got everything stripped down, is I want to change this a little bit. So over here in this corner we have this is our air intake. This one here. This is our exhaust from the combustion outside. I do want to do a couple of changes, and I might change the hat outside to minimise that. We might do that. So roughly, that's Dave's, what they call it, Cook's tour of your average diesel heater, and hopefully, if the new unit arrives in time, we'll start setting up. We'll talk through about how I set up or how I propose to set up. So that's it. What I'm planning to do, I'm not going to, of course I've ordered a new one. It's silly to waste my gasket kit. All I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to pull out the glow plug and have a look at the plug and see that. I've got a spare glow plug. Might change that and we'll assemble it and see what happens, but I'm not too panicked if I can't get this one to fire up again, because like I said, that there is no signs of expecting to see a big black mark char on the outside of the combustion chamber where it's blown out a seal or blown out. There's no signs of that. There was a little bit of signs of fuel leakage, which is not great but not massive. I should have videoed that before I cleaned it all up. But anyway, that's how these things work. I'm going to sit you down, pull out this glow plug, see what it looks like. I might show you that, I might not. So I've pulled out the glow plug. Yeah, it's a little bit rough. I don't think you can see it. It's not the best. There is some expansion on the end of the glow plug. It's meant to be nice and symmetric all the way around. That looks like it's changed shape, deformed a little bit. It should be. This is a new one. Should be. See how that's. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but there seems to be a little bit of misshape. I've also pulled out the little. I'm just going to call it the little silvery thing that surrounds the glow plug. This one's very carbonised up. As I've said, we're going to put the new glow plug in. That's that little bit of mesh there. Some people pull these out, clean them up and put them back in again. At this stage, I'm going to put in the new little meshy bit. and put in the new glow plug and assemble it, and it'll fire up. If it's good, if it doesn't fire up, nothing lost, we've ordered a new one. I can't see any reason of stripping it down any further and replacing any of, even though I've got the gasket kit there, I can't see a blowout in any of the gaskets. It's not worth replacing glass gaskets in any of this stuff unless you have to. The only hassle is, it's good I've got a gasket kit, because with most things, you ruin the gaskets, pull them apart. Don't ever recycle gaskets, folks. I know a lot of people pull these diesel Peters apart and recycle the gaskets and put them back in, but don't. Come on, the gasket kits are so easy to get, so cheap. So anyway, I'm going to replace that little thing. Now that little piece of, if I get the light right, let's do this, get the light in. So down in this barrel here is that little thing, the little filter. It's probably got a proper name, but anyway, the little filter goes down in there, down in that hole. The glow plug then screws down, holding it all in place. We put it all back together and see what happens. It'll either fire up or it'll go bang, which will be interesting for video. So yeah, I think the glow plug, even though I should have changed it when I had all the kits and thought, yep, I've got to put a new glow plug in before we start this season. It's probably something, if you're really going to rely on these, you should do them every season. But anyway, it doesn't look like it's blown a hole or been a catastrophic failure. I think the glow plug's just failed, which is interesting because the computer should give me a glow plug fail error, but it didn't. It just assumed it was working. But anyway, we'll clean it all up. We'll replace that glow plug, put everything back together and see what happens. We'll either fix it or we've broken it. And I've already ordered a replacement anyway, so it doesn't matter. But at least we've got spares. Because, yeah, it was cheap. It was cheaper just to buy a whole new combustion chamber kit. Anyway, let's get this back together. Well, I've got everything back together. One mistake I did make disassembling it is I didn't label my positive and negative terminal on the power supply. I've now labelled which is the positive and which is the negative. That was a bit of an oversight because I, done that. Safety cover inside. We have powered up over here. So we have got power. I haven't pressed the go button on the control panel. Quick safety briefing. We could have a catastrophic failure. We could have a fire. So just so you know, fire extinguisher is here. Fire blanket is here. The escape is straight out that door. The other thing is we could have a exhaust leak and our carbon monoxide detector will go off and we're getting stuff out the door, right? We're actually going straight out, we're not hanging around. If there is a catastrophic failure or a fire, if possible, we're going to turn the fuel off, isolate the power and get the stuff out. If it's unsafe to do so, we're just going to get the stuff out, okay? But that is the isolation valve for the diesel. It is currently in the on position. Power is on. We have power on our control panel. So the next thing to go is push the go button. Like I said, if there is a fuel fire, if possible, isolate fuel, shut power off. If not possible, we will extinguish the fire. If we need to then isolate the power from the building, we go down to the main switchboard and we have a isolation valve for the whole shed. It's got its own breaker that we can trip off. Okay, so that's our escape procedure. We're all aware of that, what's going to go on. Our risk factors are exhaust leak, carbon monoxide detector. If it goes off, we just get the stuff out. We will isolate the power external. If there is a fire, we will then try to isolate the fuel and the power and fight fire with the fire extinguisher. If not, we just bug out, isolate power externally. Okay, we're all aware of that. Okay, we'll come over the controller. So this will either fire up or it won't. We've replaced the glow plug. We've replaced the glow plug little shieldy thing, and we'll either have success. If not, if it is a failure, we're waiting till the new unit arrives on Friday. Okay, so let's press the go and see what happens. So, good news, I can hear the fan. the startup procedure is the fan should fire up and start spinning. It will check that it's got oxygen flow through the unit, through the chamber. It should then start pumping the diesel fuel. There is our pump, there is fuel in our tank, the fuel line is on. One little thing is, when I was assembling the unit, there's a little spring clip that holds the power connector onto the fuel pump. It will stay pretty tight without it, but flying across the shed somewhere. So yeah, there's a little metal spring clip that goes in here on the end of the fuel pump that holds that connector in place. I've taken them off and on many times. Normally when they're coming off is when they fly across the room, but yeah, I was reassembling it, flew across the room. We may locate it, we may not. Okay. It's just sitting there idling. There is no, which is a good sign, there's no warning messages. We don't have a glow plug failure message. We don't have any of the failure messages that we have. It's a bit of an anticlimax because it does take a little bit for these units to fire up. Okay, fan's now idling up. Fuel pump is just engaged. Hear that click, 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 click. So we are priming the fuel pump. Not going to edit, this is live. We'll sink or, well, they sink or swim together. See if we can get this monkey to ignite or not. So you hear that click, click, click. That says our fuel pump is actually working and priming. When it is happy with the prime, there's no flow sensor really, so it just assumes that it's clicking and the fuel pump's saying it's working. If the fuel pump goes open circuit, which means if the resistance is really high, or if it goes closer, oh, stinky, stinky, stinky. I can smell a bit of diesel. If the fuel pump goes closed circuit, which is a dead short, the computer will tell us because the readings. But as long as the computer reads the resistance in that fuel pump circuit, it says, yeah, the fuel pump's there, it's fine. It's happy. So we're still priming that fuel. These are, you can get silent fuel pumps, but really, in the use we're using it, a lot of people use these as diesel heaters and caravans, complain about the clicking noise, and you can spend a lot of money and get quiet, what they call quiet fuel pumps. But I think they're a waste of time, because how do you know if it's working or not if you can't hear it clicking? How do you know it's priming? Well, we have smoke. We shall abort. Okay, let's do a power off. Fuel off. See that? That's exhaust. So, yeah, that's a fail. We will have to adjourn, and I will have to tighten up the exhaust clamp and come to that, but we will let it cool down for a bit. We'll put that in as a failed test. I don't want to get too close to where that is coming out of. Now that could be just diesel because I've dropped diesel or something, but I will have to test. The clampy clamp on that exhaust is tight, and get back to you. Well, folks, I don't know how I recorded because apparently I wasn't recording. Anyway, we did not have our first attempt at successful fire up. I terminated it. I have since turned the fans on. I've got fans running. Here in the workshop we have the fans running to circulate the air because there was a little bit of unburnt fire product coming out of the system. We are now going to try test fire 2. We have powered the system on. It's not throwing up any errors. It's telling me that the glow plug is fine, the fuel pump is fine, it has oxygen flow, its exhaust is running, and hopefully it's going to fire up and run. See, there is a little bit of smoke hanging around. I have tightened the exhaust up. I'm going to record this because this could make spectacular video, or it might not. That could be just from me, that the residual bit of oil spilt around the place that is in places that probably shouldn't have been spilt. But it's not like it's absolutely burning, it's just smoking off. Which at this stage is not a concern. There was a little bit of waste diesel sitting around in places. So it is attempting to prime. It should attempt to prime and then it should fire up. Once again, emergency procedures: fuel off if possible, power off locally if possible. Firefighting equipment is behind me, the exit is out the door. We can isolate at the main panel if we need to the power. We're only going to isolate fuel if it is safe to do so, and we'll bugger off. But if it does catch fire, with me screaming and carrying on, it will make great video. Now, nothing to lose if this doesn't fire. Nothing to lose. Priming, 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 priming. It shouldn't prime that much because it's already been primed, but anyway, because it's all set on the computer, the computer set prime this amount, do this X amount, do that amount. There's still residual diesel coming out of there. It does show that the unit is heating. Not getting any error messages on the control panel, which is good. Not telling me we have a glow plug issue, not telling me we have a pump issue, not telling me we have a power supply issue. We should, in theory, be able to fly this puppy. Although the amount of burning off down there is a bit of a worry, but it doesn't seem to be a fuel leak. We have got a replacement unit coming. It's finished priming. It should ramp up. It should fire. If it doesn't successfully fire, it will shut down pretty quickly. But, well, it seems to be happy. It seems to be firing up. Oop. It's dumping fuel in, I think. Oh. Okay. Hasn't fired. So we've probably got an injector leak. Probably got an injector issue. Okay. Unsuccessful fire. Fuel off. Power off. We're not going to play with it anymore. We've got another unit coming. So, yeah, that was just interesting to see. So, yeah, there is, I think it's actually might be the injector has failed inside. I'm not going to, like, once we get a new one, we might pull it down and rebuild it. But till then, we're just going to put that down as a failure. And, yeah, that's interesting. So, I think I could hear fuel inside the chamber moving around, which you shouldn't hear. You shouldn't hear. So anyway, failure. But new unit coming, and we've learned some stuff. We've learned that our emergency shutdown procedures work. Okay, that's it for this part of this video. Well, good morning. It's actually Thursday morning, very close to midday, or sandwich o'clock as a friend calls it, on Thursday morning. Shout out to Glenn. Good morning, Glenn. I was up at the German supermarket this morning and ran into Glenn, so shout out to Glenn. Glenn's a bit of a watcher, and he says he was looking forward to the next video, so there you go, mate. Today I am going to hopefully put the decals on the second of the NJs. Now the paint scheme on this one is similar to the other one, but I've gone a bit different because I want them to look a bit different, as in different variations of the same paint theme. staying the same colours, because often over years, locomotives and fleets, the colour schemes changed or readopted. But anyway, so we're going something a bit different. I've printed up decals. Now, printing up decals, it is a bit of a process, but it's not too hard. The hardest part is actually doing the design work. Decal paper, print it. Now, you do need a good quality inkjet printer. So if you don't have one, a mate might have one, or a print bureau local to you. But you can buy the decal paper online. Make sure you seal it and do it properly. And we have decals here to go on a few things I have to decal, including my 600, 700 and some other bits and pieces, and put some side numbers on the Garretts. But anyway, we'll show you what we get up to. Now, I've made a bit of a stuff up on this, and I'll admit this, because what I've done is I've actually even though I said I wasn't doing it anymore and stuffing around, and I've put all the marker lights in this loco. Now, I only use 2-channel lighting on DCC. That is what comes on the factory. So a little bit silly is if I have the rear lights on and the actual red tail lights coming on that channel, and inversely, I might shoot some video in it in a sec to show you that when I put on the headlights, the marker lights on the back, red lights, technically if they're running light engine they should be on, but in a train they shouldn't. But because I've only got 2 lighting channels, front lights on and back lights on, so when the front lights are on, the rear marker lights that aren't meant to be on do come on. But it's just something I have to live with. It's either have no marker lights at all, or have marker lights that are on when they're not. So we'll go with marker lights that are on when they're really not meant to be, and we'll just make it sexy, because it's gone to a lot of effort to put all these LEDs in. And this is the wiring inside, and I want to show you this before we go too far, so you can see all these LEDs in place. Oh, it's a bit of a labour of love to do all that for that, and I use a bit of hot glue to hold them in place, and all the wiring, sort of like that, and that all goes in there. Yeah, does when it fits up, and soldered on some pigtail leads for me 2 channels. I'll put the video camera. Now, the stuff up is, I've done all this. I should have put the cab lights, oh sorry, not the cab lights, the glass in for the cab, because I've made it a bit hard for myself now with all that stuff in there to get the front windows in and the side windows in, porthole windows and the back windows not too hard because that's just drop in, but made that a bit hard for myself, Dave. One more thing, talking about windows. I've done windows in the 2-car set. Did a bit of a paint touch up on it. Now, the 2-car set and the NJ have been given a bit of a gloss coat. You can't see it too much, but that's to help decals adhere. We've done that. And that's where I'm to. We apply some decaling to these units. I am going to decal this one for the Norfolk Island Railway, just because I can. I just thought I got the decals here, we might as well do it. And then we'll put some decals on for the running numbers, because you need the running numbers on it for when you're playing with DCC, so you know which loco to select. Yeah, so anyway, that's where I'm to. I'll just pause this video here and I'll put the other lights on and get back to you. So back with you. I've just put the power supply on the other lights. So here we have the front headlights on, and the bottom white marker lights, which will be white. But because I've done that, these little red lights on the back come on, the little red marker lights. Now, they shouldn't really be, well, if it's running light engine and running, they should be on, but if you're actually pulling a train, those lights should be out. Technically under the rules, because the red lights are meant to be the end of the train. So if it's running light engine, you have red mark. But anyway, that's sort of like a compromise that I have to live in, the way this DCC works. Otherwise, you've got to stuff around. But anyway, I'm happy with that. It's more fun to have the little lights on than not. So next stage on this one is decaling and the headlights, and then I would sort of like weather it. I should really weather it before the windscreens go in, but anyway, we'll just have to be careful. But anyway, dirty windscreens are part of locomotives. And I'll probably do some really, really heavy weathering on it. But that's where we're up to. That's where we're up to at the moment. And these are the decal sheets. This centre car still giving me hassles. Haven't put windows in it yet. It might not actually go into service. We might just have it around anyway. that's neither here nor there. So that's what I'm going to poke along with today. Update on the diesel heater. It's not working, as you've seen. The new combustion chamber is meant to be here tomorrow. Joking. I guess that it's coming on the world's worst courier company, which I have lots of issues with. It should be here. Well, technically it should be here tomorrow. We can install it. We can get our heating back up and running. It's not too bad today. We don't really need it. But I doubt it'll be here tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. So you'll either see it in this video or next week's video. But anyway, that's where I'm up to. Talk to you later, folks. I'm going to potter on and do some stuff. Well, it's Friday. I was hoping by now that the parts to do the diesel heater upgrade, fix the repair had arrived, but no, they are coming with the world's worst courier, which starts with an A and has Rex in their name, and I have never had success using that courier. I have never had any success anymore. I don't want to bespeak them and say they're crook, but apparently my parcel is in Gosford. I don't know how it left the Sydney depot and went to Gosford, but apparently it's in Gosford. It may arrive today. They keep telling me, oh yes, you are scheduled for arrival today, but really, really doubt it. Anyway, let's have a look at what the constructions we're doing. Done the decking on the second NJ 1411. Now, as I said in the previous video, I've done it a little bit different, but I'm happy with what's going so far. So the decals have been put on. Oh, by the way, talking about decals, custom homemade decals. Marty's Matchbox Makeover has often covered in some of his videos about how to do the decals. I use the same method he uses. So if you want to find out about how to do the decals, so I don't have to do a complete how-to and do all that, watch Marty's Matchbox Makeovers. He has done over the years some really good videos on how he does his decals, and I use the same process. So there we go. Now, got the decals on the 2K unit. It's currently running around. Now, I did something I said I wasn't going to do. I've put headlights in it. I wasn't planning to do. Now, the thing isn't completed and fully assembled. I've still got to do some more work. It needs its sealing coat around the decals. I might put some seats in it, might not, might do some more bits and pieces, but we'll see how I go. But it's up to there, it's running around. Same with the 1411. I've got to do a seal coat around the thing. I want to do some weathering and do some bits and pieces. And of course I've got to sort out what I'm going to do about the cab windows on that one. Because the Locos do look better with cab windows, even though it's all annoying. There's a few bits and pieces that I've done. So anyway, that's where I'm up to. Now, I have another Loco I'm working on, but I'm not going to show you what it is or talk about what it is till I'm finished, because I was working on 3 Locos. In fact, there's 4 Locos in the works, in the planning. There is the 060 Cane Loco I want to do. But something that came to me the other day. Now, some nights I don't sleep very well due to all sorts of bits and conditions, and I was sitting in bed, lying there, pretending I might get to sleep, and was wondering how I would improve the operation of the layout. This layout grew over the years we discussed it, so it's grown and grown and grown. So it was never designed properly, it's just grown. And let's probably put a joke in that, and probably grown as in, it's very happy, I'm very well. Now the last stage you saw some time ago where I put this new outer loop in. Because the original layout was just one little loop, and then it became a home layout and bits and pieces, There was a story, go look at my stuff if you want to see what. But what I've decided to do, let's go for a walk. And I've ordered the stuff to do this morning because I've been umming and ahhing. I thought, no, we're going to do it, I'm going to destroy the layout in a nice sort of like way. Hang on. To show you what I want to do, I actually have to come around here and stop the train. So bear with me. I'm going to shake you around. I'm going to do this as one take. We'll bring the 2K unit round here and then we'll stop it. See that headlight? I wasn't going to put the headlight in it. What it means is it's only got headlight running one way because the way the train is. Anyway, I'm going to isolate the power. So what you do is you push the button, the stop button, and it then shuts down the layout. Of course, those sound like they have keeper lives in them, which I built in the previous video, even though the power is off to the rail. Now, what I'm going to do, the biggest bugbear is when you come down the hill, and I've already started, I've got to put some lights on. These lights are meant to automatically come on, but they're not. When you come down the hill and run around the layout down that way, you are stuck in going round and round this loop, unless you run around like in a train that's got a loco on the front of it. You've got to then run your loco around and head back, which it's okay, but I was just thinking, what if I return the layout into a reverse loop? So bear with me. What I plan to do is here under the crane, I should pull the crane there, hopefully you'll see from the visuals, we're going to install, well I'm going to install, well I suppose we are, because you'll probably see, a second rate, so this is a second radius curve here, second radius curve in trains. I am going to install, use your good English, a second radius left hand point as this one. This is a broken old point, but you can see the point. See the point of the point, haha. So going to put that point in there, and I'm going to run, and it'll probably be later we'll put a trestle in, we're going to run a second line round through here. Now I've already removed the still and the trees and looking at, and this second line, it's going to be second radius curve, and it's going to join roughly there on this outer loop. So where there's a set of points in here, I don't, when I'm running trains, I don't actually use this as a run round space into the steam loco shed, if you get the idea. So this is steam loco shed now, with steam locos go. Look, there's 3801 sitting in there. This just gets used as a storage loop. We don't actually run around here. This used to be the run round loop when the layout only went to here, but it doesn't get used. So what I'm going to do is on this inner line here, I'm going to run that round here, around here, follow where roughly this track is. So poor old Ron's camp's going to have to be done some work on. The bear will be happy because Ron will have to move it. Ron's already sort of like had a bit of action. I'll have to rejig some of the architecture around the place, but that line that is that inner line will not go through that point there anymore. That point will be redundant and removed. That's a bit of a bad point anyway. There's some really bad track work that really does need repair. So that point will come out, and this track will now run round, and it'll come over here. So when you come down the hill, you can then run right round the town, and then you'll come round on a reverse loop, and the train can head up the hill. Now there is one problem. One problem is because it's a DCC, and what I have created is a reversing loop, is I need a reversing loop controller. And lo and behold, what sold me on is when I went on the internet and looked for a DCC reversing loop controller, and we'll talk more about that when we do the work and how we put it in. Because this section here will be creating when I went on to one of my suppliers, lo and behold, they have the electronic reversing model on sale, end of financial year, reduced price. So that's what sold me on it. So I've ordered a new set of points for here. I've had to order some isolated rail joiners. I didn't order any actual metal track joiners. That could be a downfall for us, because I hope I've got enough to do this work. I didn't check. And that's it. So the plan is when you come down there, and you come down on that line, not where the Garrett and his train set is parked. So the actual running line now is that line there. I'm probably not explaining this for you. And then you'll come round, not through that set of points, because that will be gone. So not through that point's there, that point's gone. That'll just be straight rail through there on that line. But you'll come down there, and this track will now come round through under the bridge. Oh, there's a fly around here, and you'll be able to come this way. Oh, and look, I've always wondered, I've always felt like, oh, should I have done that? Should I have done that? And when I started doing some measurements the other day, it will work. It will work. We'll have to put in this area here, we'll put another trestle bridge in and blend it in. So with very little destruction, we are improving the playability of the layout. So you'll be able to come round, yep, round that line. That line will then come round here. Do you get the idea? Anyway, got any questions, ask. If not, just play along at home. We'll see what happens. But I've ordered all the stuff. It's umming and ahhing, point of no return now. So depending on probably not next week, the week after, we're going to be doing some layout building and layout destruction. And I've also got something else planned. So not only, hang around folks, the videos could get interesting. Not only, hang on, I should go and pull that point out because we'll run the train again. Not only is there 2 more Dave Build locos in the works, there is another update coming to the layout as well. There is another stage. There's something else I've been planning. We're not going to talk about that yet, because I don't want to overload you with information and go, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, because it's going to take stages. We're going to do it in stages. Let's power the lamp again. Whoop. So, that's all that brings us to this week's video. Hope it makes sense. Once again, shout out to Glenn. Don't forget, get out in your shed and do something you wouldn't normally do, because you don't know what you can do, or cough, 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 or what you can't do till you try. So, look after yourselves, take care, have fun, do stuff, challenge the old noggin, and we will chat again next week, all going well. This week my plans are I'll be working on finishing on the 1411, finishing the work on the 600, 700 character rail motor, and we'll be starting the planning, putting in what is the Y, the reverse loop. So I don't know how many times I'll say goodbye. Catch you later. Look after yourselves. I've been Dave in the shed. You've been a lot of fun. Thanks for dropping in. Enjoy your week.